This is the Stories from the Field podcast, a Delaware Farm Bureau production, sharing real stories from local farmers while educating the public on the agriculture industry. Welcome to the Stories from the Field podcast. Whether this is your first time listening or you're an avid listener, you will be inspired by the stories of our Delaware farmers. I am your host, Macy Carter, co-chair of the Delaware Farm Bureau Promotion and Engagement Committee. I have the honor today to sit down with Emerson Hickey, who is the 2026 Delaware Farm Bureau Ambassador. She is a junior at the University of Delaware, majoring in Human Resources Administration. Originally from Middletown, Delaware, Emerson comes from a farming family that specializes in dairy and grain. Growing up, she learned the value of hard work and determination from watching her grandparents work tirelessly from sunup to sundown. Emerson also worked as a summer 2024 Delaware Farm Bureau intern and gained valuable skills relevant to her future career while building relationships with Farm Bureau members. This next year, Emerson will serve as an advocate for agriculture, engaging with the community, participating in Delaware Farm Bureau sponsored activities, and promoting Delaware agriculture. Welcome to the podcast, Emmy.
Thank you for having me. It's
Of
so
course.
fun being on this side of the camera.
Yes, you were on the other side
Yes.
this past summer when you were an intern. So now I get the chance to sit down and ask you some questions.
I'm very excited.
Awesome. So first, we'll start with an easy one.
Okay.
What motivated you to apply for the Delaware Farm Bureau Youth Ambassador position? And what does this, represent to you and mean to you?
I think something that really motivated me is you see that a lot of different ag industries have a princess or a queen that represents them. And I think having the ability to work for Farm Bureau as an ambassador, it kind of opens up the opportunity for anybody to get their voice out there and use it as a platform, especially youth, to talk about agriculture. And I just think Farm Bureau has given me so much working with them, whether it was as an intern or through FFA and 4-H projects, that it was something that really inspired me to want to apply.
I love that. Now, were your parents Delaware Farm Bureau members?
Yes, both of my parents are Delaware Farm Bureau members, as well as my grandparents, aunts and uncles, and cousins as well.
So you knew from them that you wanted to be involved in this organization as well?
Yes, my first memory of Farm Bureau is sitting at the YF&R tractor pool with my cousins, and my cousin getting a shirt every year and going to the Farm Bureau stand at the fair and walking through the Ag Commodities building and always seeing everybody there. And when I was in 6th grade, I applied for the Ag in the Classroom reading contest, and that was just something that really sparked my interest in Farm Bureau.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this is like a full circle moment.
Yes.
Now that you're ambassador, you're literally representing these members this next year. That's so exciting.
Yes.
Now, how would you explain the importance of agriculture in Delaware to maybe someone that has no farming background or is not familiar with agriculture?
I think the best way to explain agriculture to somebody that's new to Delaware or has just moved here is that you look around and everything that you see was once farmland. You take a step out of your house, and whether you're in a neighborhood and you're smelling cow manure, farming impacts everything. It's the food you eat, it's the clothes you wear, it's the roads you walk on. And I just think that it's something that a lot of people take for granted, but even as such a big industry, in such a small state, people don't recognize the impact that farming has on their lives. Yeah,
I love that, and how you just connected it to the average American. And we see so many people that step outside their house and smell, the chicken manure or, the cows, and they're like, what is this? And complain. But it's so important that you are bridging the gap between those consumers and, the stigma that they have from farmers. And I think it's really great that you have a chance to advocate for them.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's something, especially where I'm from in Middletown, there's a lot of new development and lots of new people coming in, and people don't understand that this was all farmland, and you smell cow manure, and that's somebody that's helping grow your next meal. It's somebody that's working for you and your families in a way. And you have to be thankful for it, even if it does stink a little bit.
Yeah, right? Like, you want food on your table. That's the big picture. So I love that. And you're in a very, unique area here in Middletown where, you're seeing the pressure that the farmland is facing, and you can be a representative of the farmers. Now, what is one agricultural issue or topic that you are most passionate about, maybe different than farmland pressures?
Something that I'm really passionate about is actually raw milk in Delaware and the state of Delaware passing the bills so that raw milk can be sold. I think that it's super amazing that in such a big industry that is really kind of going out, people have to really go big or go out. It's raw milk is providing them with the ability to sustain those small family farms. And I think it's really awesome that Delaware just passed that law.
I love that. Obviously, you come from a dairy family background. I come from a dairy family background. So the raw milk bill really hits home to me too. And it is inspiring that, Delaware Farm Bureau had a part in getting that passed. And that's something that you can promote this next year as well. And you really take it to heart too with your family's business and things like that.
Yes.
Awesome. So as a youth ambassador, how would you engage with community members who may have misconceptions about agriculture? How would you maybe handle a situation if a consumer came up to you in a grocery store and asked a question?
I think there's a lot of different ways to go about that, whether we are posting on social media, which Farm Bureau does an amazing job at, talking about safety on the roads during harvest season when a combine's passing you, or things like that. Just educating people, I think, is something super important. Working with the foundation and going into schools and educating the youth where their food comes from, what a plant could do, I think is something super important, because the best way to start while we are also aiding and teaching the older generations is to instill in the youth how important agriculture is, and that everything around you is agriculture, and that we need to be very grateful for what we have, because we're not getting any more of it.
You are so right and so passionate about this. And that's why I'm so excited to see you serve as the ambassador. But it's so true. It all starts with the youth and making sure that they're being educated on these topics so that when they become consumers and they grow up, they can know where their food comes from. And so often these young children think it comes from the grocery store, but yes, it does. But how did it get there? And they don't know, the hard work that the farmers are putting in to prepare it and get it there to you. So that's so true. Now, this is not your first time in a leadership position. Do you want to share maybe some experience or some of your background of another leadership position or part that you took in a different organization that prepared you for this?
Yeah, so I grew up in both 4-H and FFA, and I held leadership roles in both of those organizations. 4-H taught me a lot about public speaking and the ability to communicate with others while giving back through community service. And that's something that I think played a really big part in my life. And then you grew up in 4-H and FFA as well. Being able to be an officer for my high school's FFA team really let me bridge the gap in my school, just kind of educating people on things that they might not even know about, hosting some lessons and things like that as well. So those two organizations really definitely shaped me into who I am today.
That's amazing. Obviously, 4-H and FFA are like the backbone of, growing and teaching young people today. And they definitely have taught me, like you said, the same skills, the soft skills that we get to use today. That's so great that you have both of those in your background. And obviously, FFA was a big part of your journey and your story. And serving as an officer was really a chance for you to step up and be a leader.
Yes, I think that FFA really allows everybody to be a leader, as well as 4-H. But my younger brother, I've watched him kind of flourish over the past 2 years being on Middletown's officer team, and I've seen him gain skills through public speaking and kind of stepping out of the box. So I think that it's amazing that we still have these amazing organizations that allow kids that may have been a little bit more quiet to really step out and become who they truly are.
Yes, so true. Now, I mentioned earlier that you were a 2024 Delaware Farm Bureau intern. How did the internship go, and what did it prepare you for in this role now?
Yeah, the internship was a truly amazing opportunity. I had the ability to go to Legislative Hall and meet with senators and House representatives, and that really pushed me into what I want to do in the future, which is just being able to advocate on a bigger level for agriculture. I got the chance to work on some marketing skills, starting the podcast that we have right alongside you, doing different educational videos and posts, and then being able to go out into the schools with the foundation and working with kids from kindergarten to kids that were in middle school was something that was super awesome. I think having that ability to go out and do that really prepared me for this role as ambassador, because one of my goals is to be able to go out into schools and to, while I'm talking to youth, turn around and be able to talk to Congress people and senators and House representatives at the same time to educate everybody better about Delaware agriculture.
Wow, that internship experience just sounds amazing. You put a great plug in. You got to touch so many areas of agriculture, from the youth and being in the classroom to Legislative Hall and marketing skills. That's amazing.
It was really cool too. We got to just see different parts of agriculture across Delaware, things that I had never seen before or even heard of. We got to go to Jay Baxter's farm and see how people can rent a palm tree. That was something I never really knew could happen in Delaware. So it was really eye-opening too, to just see the different sides of agriculture that Delaware can hold.
Right. And you're also, the face of Farm Bureau kind of in this position. And it's so important that you got to meet some legislators and talk to members, and having that introduction already just makes so much of a difference.
Yes.
That's so great. So we talked a little bit about your 4-H and FA background, but what is maybe like one specific skill or strength that you have that you can bring to the ambassador position?
I think I'm very outgoing. I don't shy away from a challenge. I don't shy away from talking to anybody. If I'm in a room and someone's like, "Oh, I'm very shy. I'm very closed off to some things," I'm going to talk to you and we're going to have a conversation about certain things. I think just that ability to be able to talk to anybody, and that's something that with 4-H and FFA really kind of put into my mind, is that you can talk to anybody and you could change the world with just your voice. So I think that ability is super awesome to have.
I can totally relate to the outgoing piece. That is so important, especially in this position where you're going to be talking to so many new people and you don't want to be maybe as shy or introverted. So that's great that you have, the gumption and the courage to go up and talk to people, and your outgoingness definitely shines. Yes. So that's so exciting.
Thank you.
You are very busy. As we know, you were a past intern and you're going to be in this role for this next year. You're also the collegiate discussion meet winner and going to be competing in that, as well as, going to the University of Delaware full time. How do you balance it all? How are you going to make sure that you can get all your commitments done?
I like a challenge.
Okay, good.
So I like to stay busy. That's how my mind works best, kind of just having a million different things to juggle at once, but also taking that time and making sure, if I have so many things to do for school for the week, I sit down and I get my school done, having things kind of itemized to a list, knowing my priorities, but also taking time for myself and doing the things that I love. I love going out and just being in nature and kind of disconnecting from everything.
Good.
So prioritizing the things that I have to do, but also prioritizing the things that fuel my mind and fuel my body to be the best.
That's great. That's so inspiring. I definitely would agree with you. What does the word leadership mean to you, and how are you going to exemplify that this next year as the ambassador?
Leadership to me means somebody that kind of steps up and goes all with it and gives it their all no matter what's going on. And I really am excited to be a leader through the ambassador program, because I want to be able to take this new step in this new position, especially since we haven't had ambassador in such a long time. I want to go out and do as much as I can. I want to inspire the youth in FFA and 4-H. I want to work with the kids in the classroom. I want to go out into Congress and talk to people. So I'm just very excited to go and open a bunch of new doors to hopefully let future ambassadors have something to walk with.
That is wonderful. And you mentioned a good point that this is the first, youth ambassador that Delaware Farm Bureau has had in a few years' absence. And I think it's great that you're re-sparking it, reuniting the members with you in this position. So I just look forward to everything you're going to do this year. Now, one of the responsibilities of you being an ambassador is attending Delaware Farm Bureau sponsored events and activities. What do you one event that you are most excited for this coming year? I know there's a lot.
There's so many to choose from. I was trying to think about what I would be most excited for. I'm really excited for Governor's Day and the fair, and just being able to I got to experience it last year as an intern, and through Governor's Day, I'm able to talk with other ambassadors / princesses and queens and for their certain organizations, and working with them and kind of getting out there and kind of spreading the importance of Farm Bureau and how we all work together. But as an intern, I got to work at the booth at fair, and that was something very, very inspiring to me. I had little kids coming up to me asking me questions, and just that being able to be out in the public and talking to people is something really important to me.
I definitely think the Delaware State Fair is my favorite too.
Yes.
So good choice. And yes, I remember growing up seeing the previous Delaware Farm Bureau ambassadors and long time ago queens, but always walk around with the governor on Governor's Day. So that's definitely something that you can look forward to. Yes. And we're happy to have Delaware Farm Bureau represented back with the governor on Governor's Day. So when your term as the Delaware Farm Bureau ambassador ends in a year after it's over, what impact do you hope that you have made to Delaware Farm Bureau and Delaware agriculture?
Like I said before, I really hope to leave a lasting impression on the youth and just opening a bunch of doors for them, whether it's youth in 4-H and FFA that might have, if they're in FFA and they just got their first blue jacket for the first time like I did when I was a freshman in high school, knowing that you can come and you can work with Delaware agriculture through Farm Bureau and just kind of spreading our mission and what it means to me and working with them and showing them all the doors that have really been open for me, along with providing, like I said, a bunch of doors to be open for the next ambassador to walk through and kind of setting that up so this is something that continues on for years to come.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Emmy, for sharing that. And I'm sure that you're going to leave a great lasting impact on the ambassador position, on the future of the terms of this position and the members. So I'm so excited to watch you thrive and shine this next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, as we wrap up the podcast, I just wanted to ask a fun question to end the interview. But what was your favorite memory while you were serving as a Delaware Farm Bureau intern?
There's lots of things that I could go down this summer. You really kind of turned into a family working with everybody at state office and hand in hand with my other interns. It wasn't a memory distinctly at the office, but I went away to state 4-H camp for 2 weeks, and I got a package with a bunch of goodies in it, and it was written all over it with different notes and everything of things that I had missed. And that was when I first found out that Noah was running around in a cow costume.
Oh my goodness.
And it was a picture of Noah taped on the outside of him in his cow costume. Aww. So that's something that I'll just carry with me forever, is the friendships and the family that was made through my time as an intern.
I love that. And that they sent you a package.
Yes.
How sweet.
And I had to sing for it.
Yeah, you had to sing, of course. At State 4-H camp.
Yeah.
That's so great. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, Emerson.
Thanks so much for having me.
And have the best time and best of luck as the 2026 Delaware Farm Bureau Youth Ambassador.
Thank you, Macy.